In today's video, I'm going to be going back to the Chrisland schoolgirl. I know the thing about the internet is the stories come, the hits, they are all over the place, and then a new story comes up and people just move on and forget. But the more I get to see this title, the more I think about it, the more I read more comments, I just think in my head, honestly. Hello and welcome once again aboard JulieCity. How are you keeping? I hope you are keeping well and safe. So it's a beautiful, beautiful day today. I decided to take a little walk to the park close to mine, and I said, oh well, why not? I'll just shoot this video outdoors. It looks really absolutely amazing. Nevertheless, it is cold, so don't imagine the sun there. I'm still gashed up in my coat. British weather, you never take it for granted. Anyways, so like I said in my previous video, she's only a child. She's only a 10-year-old. And the thing is that children model exactly what they see adults do. Before you run into conclusion to think I'm going to be pointing finger at the mother, no, today's video is not about pointing finger at the mother. Yes, she might have a part to play because she is the direct guardian of the child. But today I just want us to think and see what we can take away from this situation so it doesn't occur anymore. As adults, let's put on our adult thinking hat and really think hard. I think every adult failed that child. Why am I saying this? That's because children, they model what they see. Now let's take mommy out of the picture. That's this little girl's mommy. Let's take her out of the picture. She might be doing everything right. Yeah. There's an adage in Igbo. It says, the monkey says the only child he can vouch for is the one he's still pregnant of. The one that is carrying on the back might actually reach out his hand to pluck a fruit without the mother's knowledge or consent. So yeah, things can happen without parents' consent, without mother's consent or knowledge. I know for some people, going back to childhood might be a painful experience, but before we begin to judge, I want us to go right back to our childhood and remember those things that we got into that our parents had no clue about. They tried to do their best, but as children, of course, we have our own mind. We went out to do it. And how did we get to do it? We got to learn those experiences from others that we saw. And who were our role models? Our role models were the adults. Not necessarily our parents, but the environment, the society at large. And that brings me to my point. My point is the fact that as adults, every one of us, we feel that 10-year-old child. And as we hear her story and are awed by her story, it's important that we put things in place. Think about it in a way that it won't happen to another 10-year-old. That change will come through her story. There are so many adults going around with a baggage of hurt, baggage of abuse, both sexual abuse, both domestic violence as a whole, either violence against them directly and probably abuse towards the parent to parent. At the end of the day, they picked up something. Yes, the internet has come to stay and it's everywhere. But as adults in our own rights, I want us to remember that whatever we post on social media, whatever we do on social media, that a child is watching. You might say, oh, parents regulate, but there is a limit a parent can go. And that throws it back to the society. Every single one of us who post on internet, beware of what you're posting because a child is watching and might end up mimicking. I know this because I do a lot of posting on the internet from YouTube to TikTok. Yes, sometimes when I scroll through TikTok pages, some adults doing certain things, I'm just wondering, oh my God, what is this? And that child might have copied from Instagram, from TikTok, from YouTube, from Facebook. Yeah. Again, you might say, oh, the parents should regulate. How much can you regulate? I remember scrolling through a page on TikTok where a mom was supervising her child studying, not knowing that the child had a phone in between her books. And because the mom was sitting opposite, she didn't notice it. Each time the mom stood up to see what she was doing, she flipped the page and got really busy. So how do you blame that mom? Therefore, it throws it back to us, the adults. Yeah, we can also promote something nice. So we owe every child the responsibility of being responsible adults. That is one. Number two, I want us to go back and think. Some of us were those abusive and are still those abusive uncles, brothers, neighbors. Yes. And yeah, scientifically, it is proven that when people are so pained about a thing, they can actually throw it somewhere in their memory where they don't remember. And I think if some adults are truthful to themselves, some of the experiences we had growing up, we will understand where this child is coming from. Growing up, we may not, people of my age and beyond, they might not have internet. But if the internet were to be produced now to record what we got up to as children, I'm sure some of us cases might be worse than this 10-year-old. So please, let's be cautious. Let's treat this little girl with kindness. Yes, we know she went out of order, but somebody put her up to it. And that brings me to my other point. A 10-year-old being so proficient in what they say she has been proficient in and all the moves. Somebody is grooming this child. There's definitely somebody behind the scene that we don't know. Whoever is guilty as an adult behind and grooming her or teaching her or guiding her or manipulating her is still hidden. We should also be aware of those people we are allowed to come around our children, whether male or female. Yeah, I know the female ones are quite obvious, but the male children also suffer some form of abuse by their female aunties and neighbors, female neighbors. But as a mom, as a dad, as a guardian, please be conscious of those you are allowed to come in within the sphere of your children, your young children, especially the female ones. Some of these opposite sex are not there to help them, but to abuse them. And the thing about this type of abuse is that they make the person or the child believe that it is bad to tell, or they will be dead if they tell, or something nasty will happen to their family if they tell. And a young mind is very adventurous. In fact, most young minds are very adventurous. I'm speaking to the adults here. Just think back when you were a child. You want to try out new things. You want to know. You might be scared. You might not like it, but you might not have the will to stop it. One, because you're a child. Two, because of curiosity. So please, parents, watch out. Be more careful. Be more vigilant. We all as a society have a part to play in making sure that we bring up our children in a responsible manner. We bring up children that will not get into things that will mar their future, because it will take a lot of healing for this child. In fact, this child is scarred for life. God help her and God help her family. So, while we are throwing stones, let's remember that every adult had failed this child, and it is our responsibility to be responsible adults, so our children can find things that are responsible to mimic. And if you are that uncle or that auntie that gets up to something with young children, please stop it. By selfish reasons, you are ruining people's future. These children today will be adults tomorrow. Adults get into a lot of things and you wonder how. That's because their childhood was manipulated by the adults of then. I hope the family find a way to move on, and I hope they manage to get that child the necessary therapy and help that and support that she needs, so she can be able to finish her education and become a more responsible adult in the future. Till I see you next time. If you have not subscribed, this is the time to do so. Click on that red subscribe button and the notification bell. That way you get notifications for all my uploads and you won't miss a thing. Remember to like this video, because when you like it, YouTube knows that it is something somebody else needs to hear and they push it out to more people. Leave your comments. What is your opinion? What is your own take on this? I would really love to hear from you. Share as well. Share. Till I see you next time, don't forget your health is your wealth.